Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to another Real Madrid review. Feels like I haven't done this in a long time. Didn't do it for the last two games against Barcelona and Albacete, um, but I felt like there were bigger issues to talk about, and there were, and we'll get onto that in just a little bit as well. But I'm just gonna say this, right? I am not someone who does reviews when Real Madrid win and don't do them when Real Madrid don't win, right? I have done countless of reviews and previews and whatever, even when Real Madrid win, draw, or lose, right? So it's not got to do with the winning or the drawing or the losing. It's about what's going on above and what's going on within this football club and the shambles that it has been getting to a point to. And whether Real Madrid win or not, we know that this season is gonna be a write-off, and I I cannot be reactionary in terms of one win under Arbeloa and we suddenly pretend like we're gonna win La Liga and we're gonna win the Champions League. If he can replicate the form that Xabi Alonso had somehow in the first 14 games of the season, and he can go out there and get 14, 15 wins in a row, which is gonna be really difficult, and I don't see it. If he can do it and shut us up, fair enough. Because the next couple of weeks, couple of months are going to be absolutely huge. You're at a point of season where if you're going to be dropping out of competitions, such as the Copa del Rey, it's going to be gone. If you're going to be dropping points in La Liga, you're going to be out of it, right? Real Madrid remain, I would assume, 4 points behind. I know currently it's 1 point, but I don't think Barcelona played yet. So if they win their game, they go back up to 4 points ahead. 4 points on paper isn't that tough, considering there is still a Clasico to come, which I'm not looking forward to because God knows what these players are going to do. But 4 points is still 4 points. You can still mathematically and realistically, if you get your X up right now, you can still win the league. And in the Champions League, Real Madrid are, I think, 6th or 7th in the table, the league phase. And, you know, ideally, you want to win the remaining 2 games to secure it. I think even one win and maybe a draw would do it. I don't know, but to be safe, you kind of need 2 wins there as well. But I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not gonna pretend like as if the results are going to be what overshadows the main problem. Look, winning against Levante at home. And again, I'm gonna say this before we get into it. It wasn't even like Real Madrid played at the 100%. It wasn't even like Real Madrid were, out there and really came in and woke up. It wasn't that dominant. It really wasn't. The first half wasn't great. The second half, we woke up a bit. We played better, but still, it wasn't something to be too excited about that game in general. The first half wasn't great, the second half was better, but still, it doesn't scream and shout a team that are, going to win things. So, there's still huge problems going to go on. One win against Levante, with all due respect, is not going to change my perspective and my opinion on how the season's going to go and what is the real issue at this club right now. And yeah, you can celebrate the wins because you might not get many, or even if you do, it might not be great. But a 2-0 win, a clean sheet, Mbappe scoring again, Arda Güler coming on and playing really well. There's a lot of positive to take away in terms of just this game. But still, circling and bobbling around this game, the noise, the issues, we cannot ignore and pretend like it's gone. Because it doesn't magically disappear after one game. It doesn't. Right? We've got Monaco, I think, coming up. And then we've got Villarreal, don't we? We've got some big games coming up. And yeah, I don't see it changing anytime soon. But yeah, let's talk about the game. Real Madrid. Yeah, like I said, the first half wasn't great. I think it was one shot on target in the first half. Terrible. Second half, you start to play better a bit. The formation was, I think, pretty standard, but the personnel, the players he chose, Arbeloa, was really interesting, and that's why he made the changes at first at halftime, because I don't see it working. Like, I've always wondered what happened if you put Vinicius, Mbappe, and Gonzalo Garcia in the same team, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And when he brought on the changes, so he brought on um, Adegule and Mastantuono for Camavinga, which was very interesting, and also for Gonzalo Garcia. So those were the first two changes at halftime, basically, and you brought more balance. Franco Mastantuono, I'm gonna say this once again. I've said this many times this season. Franco Mastantuono's position and spot in the team cannot be replaced because we don't have a profile of a right winger that's like him. No one. Rodrigo isn't that. Brahim Diaz isn't that. Arda Güler can play there, but he isn't that. Gonzalo Garcia, you can shove him there, he isn't that. Endrick was at Real Madrid, he never played there, but he isn't that either. So you can try to work whatever you want, but the best that we have is Mastantuono. And I don't know why for the last 2-3 months since he came back from his injury, he hasn't been given game time, because he started the season off as a starter, and people can't say, oh, he's new, he needs time. He literally started most of the opening 15 games of the season. Right, most of those games when Xabi Alonso was winning, he started. In fact, he scored, didn't he, against Levante? Right, he started most of those games. Then he got an injury. Right, I believe just before El Clasico, or just before Liverpool. And since that time, November, October, he got injured, he came back, he was part of the squad, he was benched every game, and he hasn't played. Franco Mastantuono, I think, has to be the right winger for now. As long as he's fit, he has to start, because we need that balance. A left footer on the right hand side who can cut in on his left foot, who can, obviously link up well. He's a creative player, he's not a goal scoring player, but he is someone who is a very young, very good player, very good talent. He is the right winger, in my opinion. Rodrigo, I know, is injured, but he has said before he don't want to play on the right. And I hope with Arbeloa, he doesn't just copy and paste what Xabi Alonso was doing towards the back end of his tenure, because what's the point? You have this squad at your disposal right now. Right, you have got the next 6 months at least to try and salvage something. Right? Xabi Alonso wasn't the problem, but perhaps picking selection wise, he made mistakes. So why copy him? Right? I'm not going to say Xabi Alonso is perfect. He did make mistakes in his starting 11. He did make choices that I felt was weird and interesting. But I don't want Arbeloa to do the same thing. Please, start Mastantuono. Start Gonzalo Garcia. Start David Jimenez if you want. Like, you have got so much intel and so much knowledge on the Castilla, the academy team. Right? And one defeat to Albacete, by the way, that defeat to Albacete, you cannot blame all on the Castilla players. Right? There were experienced players, there were first team players who played in that game who screwed up, right? And no one talks about that. Okay, but don't just solely put the blame onto the Castilla players, right? But it doesn't mean that, oh, we lost with 2 to 3 Castilla players starting and a couple came on. It doesn't really mean that they don't have, a future in the first team. They do. They absolutely do. And I want to see that going forward, right? The starting 11 looks to me like a copy and paste, and I hate that. Right? You have got the disposal. You have got the squad now to yourself. Why are you just copying what Xabi Alonso is doing? Why? Go ahead and change things up. Yes, you've got injuries. Yes, the squad maybe doesn't have too much talent and too much players who can create a balanced team. But certain decisions I look at and I think, yeah, it's a no-brainer. Surely you make that decision, and I really hope so. But in terms of the goals, the penalty, definitely a penalty. I mean, the defender gets nothing, literally just kicks Mbappe high up. Like, I don't know what he was doing. Kylian Mbappe wins the penalty from the spot, sends the keeper the wrong way. Don't know what Matt Ryan was doing there, just jumping around and just dived early. Like, I don't know what he was doing. Um, and then Arda Güler came on with the corner, and brilliant corner in Asensio with the bullet header. 2 goals in 2 La Liga games for Raul Asensio. Yeah, I'm happy for him. He wore the mask today, gave the Sergio Ramos vibes. Um, he will always be a fighter. He'll always be a warrior, and he showed that today. I thought he was really good. Man of the match is gonna be Arda Güler. Came on for half the game, 45 minutes. But still dropped probably his best game this season. Really, I mean, you look at it, and I don't remember many games. I look at Arda Güler and I think, wow, he was that guy. I don't remember many games. So yeah, for me, I think Arda Güler definitely man of the match. Um, but yeah, um, that's that. The rest of the team, um, Courtois was pretty much not busy. Like, he didn't really have much to do. Fede Valverde, Asensio, Dean Huijsen, Carreras. Look, there are a lot of chat about Dean Huijsen and whether he is good enough. I'm gonna say this. I believe it is too early to write him off. He's still a young player. We know his potential. We know his qualities. He's going through a struggle phase at this minute in time. But he's a young player. He's a young and new signing. Okay? When you look at the new signings, right, you have to cut them slack. And in fact, the new signings have been some of our better players this season. I mean, Trent played well up until he got injured. Carreras has been very good. Dean Huijsen has been okay. Has his ups and has his downs. And who else are we missing? Masantuono has been very good as well. So yeah, I'm not going to entertain this Dean Huijsen out movement. He is not the problem in the team. Like, look at other players. Like David Alaba, he's one of the highest earning players. I know you're gonna talk about the Champions League trophies he's won with this club and whatever. Yes, that is in the past though. But at this minute in time, would you rather keep Dean Huijsen or David Alaba? And I know my decision 1,000,000%. You can ask me this every single day, and I'll give you the same answer every single day, right? So, Dean Huijsen, he's having his struggles. But when people say, oh, you go at Vinny, you go at Mbappe, you go at Fede Valverde, you go at Bellingham, you wanna know why? Those guys are some of the best players in the world, full stop. Those guys are one of the most highest paid players in the team and in the world, full stop. Right? And those guys have been at this club for at least a season and longer. For some players that have been here 5 years, 6 years, like, you expect them to know what it's like. And especially those players who were here last season, they know the struggles. They know how it feels like to play shit when we were playing terribly last year. So they should be the ones that step up. I'm not expecting Carreras to be the one, Huijsen, Masantuono. They are new young players. Next season, I expect them to. Right, next season, if we don't do well again, touch wood, I would be holding Masantuono, Carreras, Huijsen, Trent accountable. But for now, no. Midfield, Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Bellingham were okay. I didn't actually watch the game, by the way. I'm just gonna put it out there. It's one of the first few games I actually had the opportunity to actually watch because it wasn't midnight, but I chose not to watch. Front three, Um, yeah. Obviously, Vinny Jr., Bellingham were booed the most. Um, what my thoughts on the booing were: Real Madrid fans are vocal. Real Madrid fans are going to make themselves heard. And a couple of sources came out last night and early today that within the club, they feel like Real Madrid fans booing, they are hurt, they're disappointed, and whatever, um, and they feel like as if the fans are booing when the team is not going through a good spell, that the fans are never part of us or one of us. What a load of shit. Okay, I'm just gonna put this out there. I am not going to boo. I don't boo players, and I'm not going to be one that do it. But I'm not going to be telling Real Madrid fans to not. And I'm a Real Madrid fan. If I wanted to boo, and someone tells me to not, I'll be like, yeah, F you, mate. Because what you're seeing on the pitch is not a little bit of struggling. You're winning the league, you're winning the Champions League, but you have one or two odd games. This has been going on for 18 months. 18 months! And you're telling Real Madrid fans to put up with it. Week in, week out, game in, game out, there is no change. There is nothing. Right? The only time that he has changed for a slight bit was when Xabi Alonso came in at the start of the season, and you sack him. The man who brought us change, you sack him. So don't expect Real Madrid fans to just sit quiet, be a bunch of kids. Like, when you put kids to watch the TV and watch the cartoon and they're just there whilst you're doing your shady shit. Don't treat Real Madrid fans like kids. That's why I said in my last video. The people at the club are treating Real Madrid fans like a bunch of 3-year-olds. So you know what? Even better. Real Madrid fans have even more right to go out there and to make themselves heard. Because you cannot be treating Real Madrid fans like we are 3-year-old kids. If Real Madrid fans want to boo, go ahead. It's your job on the pitch and upstairs within the club to figure out how to make things change. Right? 18 months. 18 months since Carlo Ancelotti last won the Champions League. Right? Have we seen change? I haven't seen any change. I don't remember a period of time where we went and won multiple games and we were playing good football or we were looking like we're going to win the league. No. Last season, trophyless. This season, out of the Copa del Rey, we are not going to beat Barcelona with the way we are playing for La Liga. We're not going to beat any of the top teams for the Champions League with the way we are playing. And you want Real Madrid fans to sit there and stay quiet. Come on, let's not kid around. Let's not treat each other like 3-year-olds. Let's treat each other with respect. And we have a good understanding of what's going on, right? Let's be professional. Let's be mature. And let's have a proper conversation on what the hell is going on in this football club. Right? Real Madrid fans are not going to put up with it just because you don't want them to boo you. Come on, grow up. Anyways, that's a perfect way to just end off. Let me know what thoughts are down below. Hope you guys have enjoyed. I'll be gone for a few days, but I will still upload the Real Madrid versus Monaco preview. But yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel on already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.